The bent pyramid stands as a unique monument on the Dahshur necropolis in Egypt. Constructed during the reign of Pharaoh Sneferu, founder of the Fourth Dynasty, it dates to around 4,600 years ago. Its most famous feature is its peculiar shape. The lower portion rises at a steep angle, then partway up the incline shifts to a much shallower one, creating the distinct bent profile against the sky. One of the earliest attempts to build a true smooth-sided pyramid, it holds immense importance for understanding the evolution of Egyptian funerary architecture, a physical record of a critical transition in royal tomb design. Before Sneferu, pharaohs were buried in mastabas or in step pyramids with large visible tiers like a giant staircase. The bent pyramid represents a monumental bridge between two eras of pyramid building, a turning point in royal tomb design. Where once the Third Dynasty held sway, led by Djoser's step pyramid at Saqqara, a new ambition emerged. Builders began to question the staircase of tiers, to imagine something more seamless, more celestial in form. The step design was both symbolic and practical. Mastaba-like layers stacked skyward, a visible ladder for the king's spirit to ascend toward the imperishable northern stars. This architecture carried deep ritual meaning, guiding the journey to eternity, consolidating faith with stone, and organizing labor into orderly, rising courses. Under Sneferu, the vision shifted. The goal became smooth, sloping sides, a single unified shape rather than a series of steps. This new surface promised continuity and splendor, a polished plane that caught the sun and declared a profound change in belief and engineering, setting the stage for the true pyramid. Before construction began at Dahshur, Sneferu had already invested heavily at Maidum. There, a conventional step pyramid rose in tiers. Then a bold decision followed, to transform those steps into a true, smooth-sided form by filling the rises with masonry and adding a fine outer casing. It was an early, ambitious attempt to move from the staircase of stone to a single, luminous slope. The enterprise appears to have ended in failure. Evidence suggests the outer casing collapsed, its angle too steep, the foundation less than stable. Cracked masonry and displaced passages hint at the strain, an engineering lesson written in stone. In response, the court turned to Dahshur, a fresher, firmer start on better ground. Here, Sneferu initiated two great works, the bent pyramid and the red pyramid, perhaps planned in sequence, perhaps overlapping, together reflecting royal resources and resolve. A landscape of ambition, set against the desert and the Nile's reach. The transition from step pyramids to true pyramids was not mere style. It reflected a change in faith. Earlier, kings fixed their hopes on the imperishable circumpolar stars, eternal, unsetting. By Sneferu's time, devotion pivoted toward the rising sun. Daily rebirth, radiant order, the horizon where the king joined the solar bark. With that shift, meanings changed. The step pyramid remained a visible ladder for the royal soul to climb skyward, stair by stair. The true pyramid, by contrast, became a solar emblem, the primeval mound, the benben, emerging from chaos, even a solidified sunbeam, a sloped path for the king to reach Ra. Clad in fine Tura limestone, a pyramid's faces once gleamed white, catching morning and evening light until they seemed otherworldly. That brilliance proclaimed divine power to the valley below, binding kingship to the sun. In that radiance, belief and engineering converged, preparing the way for the daring forms to come. The bent pyramid's making unfolds in phases, clear choices carved in stone. Builders first conceived a smaller, steeper monument near 60 degrees, planted on a compact base. Courses rose evenly, horizontal for the first 49 meters, the core taking shape as ambition gathered at the desert's edge. A bold start, precise and methodical, chasing height and polish in dazzling Tura limestone skin. Then the project expanded. A larger design began at 54 degrees and 27 minutes, pushing mass upward while conserving the footprint. But beneath, clay subsoil and immense load conspired. Stress crept through the fabric. Hairline cracks in passages, corbelled spaces shifting, masonry whispering of strain. The interior told the truth, impressive, yet at risk. To avert failure, engineers revised the plan aloft. Above the bend, the angle eased to 43 degrees and 22 minutes, redistributing weight and calming pressures through the core. The result is that unmistakable profile, two slopes in dialogue where calculation met belief, and a precarious experiment became a lasting step toward the true, smooth-sided pyramid. The interior of the bent pyramid is complex and, uniquely, served by two separate entrance systems. The first lies on the north face, about 12 meters above ground, in the traditional Old Kingdom position. From there, a long, narrow descending passage carries you deep below, along tight ramps and timbered walkways, before opening into a subterranean chamber beneath the core. Its high, corbelled roof rises in stepped courses overhead, and this lower arrangement appears to belong to the original plan. Later, a second doorway was cut on the west face, about 33 meters high. It descends to an upper chamber with a magnificent corbelled vault, while a rough winding passage, hacked after the main build, links the two systems, signalling a redesign. Inside, large cedar logs were discovered, perhaps parts of burial equipment or heavy structural props. Yet no sarcophagus was found, and the intended burial place remains uncertain. Outside, to the east, a long enclosed stone causeway carried movement and meaning between buildings. It ran from the pyramid temple at the base to the valley temple near the Nile floodplain, more than 700 meters in length. Along this spine, processions, offerings, and logistics flowed toward the river. Seen from above, the line still binds pyramid, causeway, and valley temple into a single designed landscape. The bent pyramid did not stand in isolation. It anchored a deliberately planned, sacred landscape. At its eastern foot, a small pyramid temple gathered the rhythm of daily mortuary rites. Offerings set out, incense rising in thin blue threads. Within a modest courtyard and sanctuary, stelae bore Sneferu's names and titles. The king invoked, provisioned, and remembered amid ordered stone. Down the causeway, near a canal linked to the Nile, the valley temple received processions by boat. Priests, porters, and goods arrived out of the river world to enter the precinct. One of the earliest such temples excavated, it once held fine reliefs and statues of Sneferu, a threshold space where images, offerings, and movement bound river, desert, and pyramid into a single design. To the south stands a satellite pyramid, A true pyramid in miniature, with its own passage and chamber, its purpose still debated. Perhaps for the king's car, perhaps symbolically for viscera removed in mummification. Around it stretched an engineered landscape. Local limestone quarried for the core, while brilliant white Tura stone was ferried across the Nile to sheath the slopes. On many blocks, work gang marks survive. Nicknames like the Gang and the White Crown of Sneferu is powerful. Small human signatures beneath vast design. Planning, labour and belief meet here, held fast in desert light. The bent pyramid is rare for preserving so much of its original Tura limestone casing. White, finely dressed and tight-jointed. Along these faces, Egyptologists can read the builder's intent. Courses keyed into the core, joints aligned with methodical care. Most striking is the measurable change in slope, roughly 54 degrees below the bend, easing to about 43 above it. A calculated adjustment inscribed in stone and still legible in the surviving skin that gleams in low sun. Access today is carefully managed. Limited openings, timed entries and capped numbers channel visitors along conservation-led routes. Inside, expect steep, narrow descents, timber walkways and low corbelled spaces, safety rails and helmets where required, and areas kept closed to protect fragile stone and ancient mortar. The experience is intimate, deliberate, a respectful passage through engineering that once tested the limits of stone and now demands patient stewardship. Lessons here shaped Sneferu's Red Pyramid, kept near 43 degrees throughout, and informed the engineering of Khufu's Great Pyramid. Ongoing work confronts wind erosion, salt crystallization, and micro-fractures. Teams stabilize faces, monitor cracks, and maintain protected zones. Look closely and the human touch persists. Faint mason marks, work gang nicknames scattered across blocks at Dahshur. In these signatures and scars, the labour of many meets the endurance of stone. Quiet, resolute, and still speaking. Ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs, pyramids and powerful queens. Among them, Nefertari stands out. She was the great royal wife of Ramses II. Her name echoes through time. She is considered one of Egypt's most significant queens. Her reign marked a period of immense cultural and architectural flourishing. Her legacy is intertwined with her husband's. She played a prominent role in shaping ancient Egyptian history. Her story is one of power, beauty and mystery. We will uncover the mysteries surrounding her origins, story, and we will examine the architectural marvels dedicated to her. Join us on this journey as we unravel the story of Nefertari, a story that continues to intrigue us centuries later. Nefertari, a name that evokes beauty, power and mystery in the ancient Egyptian language. Her name holds a profound meaning. It translates to beautiful companion, or perhaps more intriguingly, the most beautiful of them all. This name was not merely a title. It reflected Nefertari's captivating presence. It spoke to her elevated status as the great royal wife of Ramses II. Her name was carefully chosen. It was meant to convey her significance. It also highlighted her role in the royal court. The Egyptians believed in the power of names. They believed a name could influence a person's destiny. Nefertari's name, therefore, suggests a life destined for beauty, destined for influence, destined for greatness. Her name echoed through the halls of power. It served as a constant reminder of her enduring legacy. Nefertari's name wasn't simply symbolic. It was a reflection of her physical beauty. Ancient Egyptian art depicts her with striking features. She had large almond-shaped eyes. She had a serene, almost ethereal expression. Her images adorn the walls of her tomb in the Valley of the Queens. She is often depicted alongside Ramses II. These images show her grace, they show her elegance, they show her importance as the king's consort. The colours used in these depictions are significant. They were carefully chosen to enhance her beauty. She is often shown with dark, kohl-rimmed eyes. These images serve as a testament to Nefertari's captivating presence. They help us understand why her name became synonymous with beauty itself. Nefertari's name often appears alongside epithets. These epithets provide further insights into her character. One such epithet was beloved of Mut. Mut was a powerful goddess. She was associated with motherhood. She was associated with protection. She was also associated with kingship. This epithet suggests Nefertari enjoyed a special connection with this important deity. It implies she possessed qualities that were admired by the goddess. These qualities might have included grace, compassion, and wisdom. The epithet beloved of Mut also highlights Nefertari's religious piety. It emphasizes her role as a link between the pharaoh and the divine. This role was crucial in maintaining order. It also maintained prosperity within the kingdom. Nefertari's name continues to resonate thousands of years after her death. It has become synonymous with ancient Egyptian beauty, power, and intrigue. Her story, though shrouded in mystery, continues to fascinate historians and archaeologists. Her name graces museums around the world. It adorns books, documentaries, and countless works of art. Nefertari's legacy extends far beyond the confines of ancient Egypt. She has become a symbol of feminine power and grace. Her story serves as a reminder of the enduring allure of ancient Egypt. It reminds us of the powerful women who shaped this civilization. Nefertari's name will forever be etched in the annals of history. Nefertari's origins remain shrouded in mystery. Her parentage, a subject of much speculation, is unknown. No definitive records exist to shed light on her family background. This lack of information only adds to her enigmatic aura. The sands of time have obscured much of ancient Egyptian history. Royal records were sometimes incomplete or deliberately altered for political purposes. It's possible that Nefertari's lineage was intentionally erased, or perhaps the records were lost to the ravages of time. This absence of concrete evidence has fueled numerous theories and interpretations. Scholars have pored over fragmented inscriptions and monuments, searching for clues to her ancestry. Yet Nefertari's origins remain an unresolved puzzle. Despite the lack of definitive proof, certain theories hold more weight than others. Some scholars believe Nefertari came from a noble family. This theory is based on her elevated status and the grandeur of her tomb. It's unlikely that a woman of humble origins would have been bestowed with such honours. Her marriage to Ramses II further supports this notion. Ramses II, known for his ambition and desire to solidify his power, would have sought a wife of noble lineage, a wife who could enhance his own prestige and legitimacy. The opulence of her tomb suggests a woman of immense wealth and influence. While her exact lineage remains a mystery, The evidence suggests a woman born into privilege, a woman whose influence extended far beyond the confines of the royal palace. Adding to the intrigue, some scholars propose a connection between Nefertari and the previous ruling dynasty, the 18th dynasty. This theory centers around a possible familial link to Pharaoh I, Tutankhamun's successor. This theory stems from the discovery of a ring bearing A's cartouche in the tomb of Nefertari's eldest son, Amun-Hakepeshef. While this doesn't confirm a direct lineage, it hints at a possible connection. Perhaps Nefertari was a distant relative of A or his wife. This potential link to the 18th dynasty is tantalizing. It suggests a lineage steeped in power, intrigue, and the legacy of some of Egypt's most renowned rulers. However, without concrete evidence, this theory remains speculative. It's a piece of the puzzle that may never be fully understood. Despite the lack of concrete answers, the mystery surrounding Nefertari's origins doesn't diminish her significance. Instead, it adds to her allure. She stands as a testament to the enduring power of ancient Egypt to captivate our imaginations. Her legacy extends beyond her lineage. She was a powerful queen, she was a devoted wife, she was a patron of the arts, she left an indelible mark on Egyptian history. The mystery of her origins only adds to the richness of her story. It reminds us that history is not always clear-cut. Deep in the heart of Nubia, on the banks of the Nile, stands a testament to love and devotion. Carved into the face of a mountain, the Temple of Abu Simbel is a marvel of ancient Egyptian architecture. It honors Ramses II and his great royal wife Nefertari. The smaller temple is dedicated to Nefertari and the goddess Hathor. This dedication highlights Nefertari's status and influence. The Temple of Abu Simbel is not just a religious monument. It's also a testament to Ramses II's deep affection for Nefertari. Inscriptions inside the temple declare his love for her in no uncertain terms. The colossal statues of Nefertari that grace the temple's facade are another indication of her importance. These statues, equal in size to those of Ramses II himself, depict her wearing the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. This signifies her status as queen and co-ruler alongside her husband. Inside the temple, the walls are adorned with vibrant paintings that depict scenes from Nefertari's life. These images offer a glimpse into the life of a queen who was both powerful and deeply loved. The Temple of Abu Simbel faced a significant threat in the 20th century. The construction of the Aswan High Dam put the entire complex at risk of being submerged beneath the rising waters of Lake Nasser. In a remarkable feat of engineering and international collaboration, UNESCO launched a campaign to save Abu Simbel. Between 1964 and 1968, the entire temple complex was carefully dismantled, moved block by block, and reconstructed on higher ground. This incredible undertaking ensured that future generations could continue to marvel at the splendor of Abu Simbel. Today, the Temple of Abu Simbel stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It attracts visitors from around the globe who come to witness its grandeur, its beauty, and the enduring love story it represents. In the Valley of the Queens lies a tomb as breathtaking as the queen it houses. This is the final resting place of Nefertari, the great royal wife of Ramses II. Unlike other tombs, Nefertari's remained relatively intact for centuries. It offers a rare glimpse into ancient Egyptian beliefs and rituals. The vibrant paintings bring the tomb to life. Every detail speaks of the high regard for Nefertari. It testifies to Ramses II's love and devotion. The paintings within Nefertari's tomb guide us through her journey into the afterlife. We see her being led by Anubis, the jackal-headed god of embalming, towards the Hall of Two Truths. Here, her heart would be weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth and justice. If her heart was found to be pure, lighter than the feather, she would be granted access to the afterlife. She would then join Osiris, the god of the underworld, in eternal paradise. The paintings depict this moment of judgment with palpable tension and hope. Beyond the Hall of Two Truths, the tomb opens up into a series of chambers, each more elaborately decorated than the last. We see Nefertari making offerings to various deities, her piety and devotion evident in every gesture. These scenes aren't merely decorative. They were meant to magically provide Nefertari with everything she would need in the afterlife. Sadly, Nefertari's tomb, despite its grandeur, couldn't protect her remains from the passage of time and the hands of opportunistic robbers. Her mummy, though initially interred with a wealth of treasures, was disturbed in antiquity. Only fragments of her funerary goods were recovered when the tomb was rediscovered in 1904 by Italian archaeologist Ernesto Schiaparelli. Despite the loss and the ravages of time, the tomb of Nefertari remains a treasure trove of information for Egyptologists. The vibrant paintings, the hieroglyphic inscriptions, the layout of the tomb itself, all offer invaluable insights into ancient Egyptian funerary beliefs, religious practices, and artistic achievements. Nefertari's tomb has become a monument to her memory, a testament to the love of a king, the skill of ancient artisans, and the enduring fascination with ancient Egypt. Nefertari's story began in the mists of time, her origins lost to the sands of history. She emerged to become one of ancient Egypt's most celebrated queens. Her name, linked with beauty, grace and power, echoes through the millennia. As the great royal wife of Ramses II, she played a pivotal role in shaping his reign. The monuments dedicated to her, from Abu Simbel to her tomb in the Valley of the Queens, stand as testaments to the love and admiration she inspired. These structures offer us a glimpse into the opulence and grandeur of her time. Nefertari was a woman of substance. Her tomb inscriptions speak of her intelligence, compassion, and devotion. Nefertari's story reminds us that behind every great pharaoh stood an even greater queen. She challenged the traditional image of queens as passive figures. Her legacy continues to captivate us today. Her name graces museums and books, her image in art and culture. She remains an icon of ancient Egypt. Her story is a testament to love, devotion, and the human spirit. My love is unique. No one can rival her, for she is the most beautiful woman alive. Just by passing, she has stolen my heart. The ancient Egyptians are famous for many things. We remember their towering pyramids. We marvel at their golden treasures. We are fascinated by their strange animal-headed gods. But perhaps more than anything else, we are captivated by their intricate and profound beliefs about life after death. For the people along the banks of the mighty Nile thousands of years ago, death was not an end. It was a transition. A doorway to another existence, a journey to an eternal life they prepared for their whole lives. This belief was the very heart of their civilization, influencing everything they did. It shaped their society, starting with art, architecture, and religious practices. The magnificent tombs were not just burial places, they were eternal homes, built to last for millennia. The elaborate rituals were not simple farewells, they were essential procedures to ensure safe passage and rebirth. From the pharaoh in his golden palace to the humble farmer in his mud brick house, every Egyptian shared the hope of life beyond the grave. To understand them, we must look at their relationship with death. They weren't obsessed with death. They were obsessed with life. Their preparations were an expression of love for life. They wanted their joys to continue forever. This desire for eternity unlocks their complex world, where living and dead often blurred. This is a journey back in time. Their ideas changed over thousands of years, growing more complex. We will explore the cosmos, their powerful gods, and the rise of writing. We will see the soul's perilous journey through the underworld and the final judgment. It is a story of hope, fear, and the human quest for immortality. In ancient Egypt, religion was not separate from daily life. It was woven into the very fabric of society, a constant presence that connected everyone. At the center of this religious web was the powerful concept of the afterlife. This was not a belief reserved for a select few priests or nobles. It was a universal truth that united all Egyptians, providing a shared purpose and a common understanding of their place in the universe. The gods they worshipped were deeply involved in this process. Osiris, king of the underworld, Anubis, guide of souls. Both played crucial roles in the journey of the dead. Their stories and powers gave shape and meaning to what happened after death. The Egyptians believed that a proper burial was absolutely essential. It was the first and most critical step in securing a place in the afterlife. Without the correct rituals and a protected tomb, the soul could be lost forever, condemned to a restless and unhappy existence. This is why they invested so much time, effort and resources into their funeral practices. Elaborate tombs, careful preservation through mummification, wealth of objects buried with the dead, all part of a grand strategy to defeat death and equip the deceased for a new life. The development of writing was a revolutionary moment for these beliefs. It allowed ideas to be written down, standardized and shared more widely than ever before. Local traditions, spoken myths, could now be recorded in powerful texts. Sacred writings inscribed on tomb walls, papyrus scrolls and coffins acted as guidebooks for the dead. They contained spells, prayers and maps to help the soul navigate the dangers of the underworld. Writing the texts was itself a magical act, giving them power in the spiritual realm. These afterlife texts became a cornerstone of funerary culture. They provided a detailed script for the soul's journey. Pyramid texts, earliest for royalty. Coffin texts, available to more people. Book of the Dead, magical protection for those who could afford it. These texts reveal deep anxiety about the afterlife, but also incredible ingenuity, ensuring a safe arrival in paradise. The journey to the afterlife, as imagined by the ancient Egyptians, was far from simple. It was a difficult and hazardous voyage through a complex spiritual landscape known as the Duat, or the underworld. This realm was filled with terrifying demons, strange obstacles, and gates guarded by fearsome beings. The deceased soul would have to face a series of trials and tests to prove their worthiness. They could not make this journey alone. They relied on the knowledge contained within their funerary texts, which provided the secret names and magic spells needed to pacify the guardians and overcome the dangers that lay in wait for them at every turn. The climax of this perilous journey was the final judgment. This dramatic event took place in the Hall of Two Truths, presided over by the god Osiris. Here, the heart of the deceased, which the Egyptians believed was the seat of intelligence and memory, was weighed on a giant set of scales. It was weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth and justice. If the heart was heavy with sins, it would be devoured by a terrifying monster called Amit, and the soul would cease to exist forever. This was the ultimate fear for an Egyptian, not just death, but total annihilation. However, if the scales balanced, it meant the deceased had lived a righteous life. They would be declared true of voice and be granted entry into the afterlife. This was not a return to their old life on earth, it was something far better. A rebirth into a perfect eternal existence. The soul would be reunited with its preserved body, the mummy, and become a blessed spirit. They would live on in a paradise known as the Field of Reeds, or Seket Aru. This was an idealized version of Egypt, a land of endless harvests, beautiful waterways, and joyful reunions with loved ones who had gone before them. This promise of a glorious rebirth was the ultimate goal. It was the powerful motivation behind the pyramids, the mummification, and the complex rituals that defined so much of ancient Egyptian culture. Their entire system of belief was designed to transform the terrifying finality of death into a hopeful new beginning. It was a testament to their desire for justice, their belief in cosmic order, and their unwavering conviction that life, in its best and most perfect form, was meant to last for eternity. To secure their place in the eternal paradise, the ancient Egyptians developed elaborate funeral practices, each step designed to protect and guide the soul on its perilous journey. At the heart of these rituals stood the tomb, a sacred home for the deceased's body and a gateway to the afterlife. Early rulers were buried in simple underground chambers, but as beliefs evolved, so did their monuments. The majestic pyramids of the Old Kingdom rose from the desert sands, serving not only as tombs, but as engines of resurrection. Their shape, pointing skyward, symbolized a staircase to the heavens. Lavishly decorated walls, hidden passages, complex traps, all worked together to defend against grave robbers and spiritual threats alike. Inside these tombs, the Egyptians placed everything the soul might need: food, clothing, amulets, shabtis, tiny servant figurines. But perhaps the most vital tools were the afterlife texts. The earliest of these, the pyramid texts, inscribed on the walls of royal tombs over 4,000 years ago. These spells and prayers were reserved for the pharaohs, helping them navigate the dangers of the duat and join the gods. As time passed, these sacred writings evolved. The coffin texts appeared, expanding access to powerful magic beyond royalty to nobles and high officials. Later still, the famous Book of the Dead emerged, a collection of spells written on papyrus scrolls, tucked beside the mummy in its sarcophagus. These texts provided step-by-step instructions, how to avoid pitfalls, recite the right words, and win the favor of gods and guardians. Each new generation added their own prayers and spells, reflecting changing hopes and fears. In this way, the afterlife text became a living tradition, one that shaped Egyptian culture for millennia. Tombs, rituals, sacred writings. Together they formed a protective shield, ensuring the journey to the field of reeds would not end in darkness, but in everlasting light. Across the millennia, the ancient Egyptians penned their hopes for eternity in ink and stone. Their funerary texts, more than mere words, became lifelines for the soul's voyage beyond death. Among these, the Book of the Dead stands as the most renowned. Unfurled on delicate papyrus, its spells and illustrations served as a passport, guiding the deceased through the shadowy corridors of the duat, the underworld. Each scroll was unique, tailored to the individual's journey, filled with prayers, passwords, magical instructions to outwit dangers and win the favor of Osiris, judge of the dead. But the Book of the Dead was just one chapter in Egypt's sacred literature. Deep within royal tombs, the walls blossomed with the books of the netherworld. These cosmic maps charted the sun god Ra's nightly journey through 12 perilous hours of darkness. Their cryptic illustrations and hymns were reserved for pharaohs, depicting monstrous guardians, fiery lakes, the rebirth of the sun, an allegory for the king's resurrection and triumph over chaos. High above, on the ceilings of tombs, another genre unfurled, the books of the sky. These texts, like the Book of Nut, traced the goddess arching overhead, swallowing the sun at dusk, birthing it anew at dawn. They offered a celestial perspective, promising that, like the sun, the soul too could rise again. Each tradition offered a different map, a unique vision of the afterlife's challenges and rewards. Together they reflected Egypt's evolving beliefs that immortality was not guaranteed, but earned through knowledge, righteousness and ritual. As we gaze upon the faded ink of papyrus scrolls, the vibrant frescoes of tomb walls, the star-studded ceilings of ancient burial chambers, we glimpse a civilization obsessed with guiding its dead, not into oblivion, but toward a luminous eternity. Their texts were more than guides. They were promises etched in word and image, that the journey would not end in darkness, but in the everlasting light of the field of reeds. In the shadowed silence of Egyptian tombs, the quest for eternity took tangible form through the intricate art of mummification, an extraordinary ritual, both scientific and sacred. To the ancient Egyptians, the body was the vessel of the soul, and its preservation was vital for a successful journey into the afterlife. The process began soon after death. Specialist embalmers, often priests, washed the body and recited prayers to purify it. The most critical step followed. The removal of internal organs, liver, lungs, stomach, intestines were carefully extracted and placed within canopic jars. Canopic jar lids shaped as protective deities. These jars were more than containers. They symbolized guardianship over the vital essence of the deceased. The heart, thought to be the seat of emotion and intelligence, was usually left inside the body, destined to be weighed against the feather of Ma'at in the Hall of Judgment. The brain, considered less important, was removed and discarded. Next, the body was packed in natron, a natural salt, and left to dry for 40 days. Once desiccated, the embalmers wrapped the body in countless linen strips, inserting amulets between layers for protection. Each wrapping was accompanied by spells and incantations, invoking the gods' favour and shielding the soul from harm. But mummification was only part of the journey. The tomb itself became a portal to the afterlife, filled with offerings: bread, beer, fruits, meats, jars of wine. Statues of servants called shabti were placed to work for the deceased in the next world. Jewelry, clothing, treasured possessions surrounded the body, reflecting a belief that the afterlife mirrored earthly existence, complete with joys and necessities. Priests played a crucial role, performing the opening of the mouth ceremony, ensuring they could breathe, speak and eat in the world beyond. These rituals and offerings were more than tradition. They were acts of devotion and hope. Every careful preparation echoed a profound faith that, with the right rites, the soul would awaken, thrive, and find peace in the lush fields of eternity. In this sacred process, the Egyptians sought not just to preserve the body, but to guarantee the soul's triumphant passage through the mysteries of death into the promise of everlasting life. As the tomb doors sealed and offerings settled into silence, the true journey of the soul began. A voyage mapped in sacred texts and painted on the walls of eternal chambers. In ancient Egyptian belief, death was not an end but a crossing, a passage from the living to the afterlife. Guided by spells from the Book of the Dead, the soul, the Ba, set out on its perilous journey. First it crossed the celestial Nile, ferried by the divine boatman. The river marked the threshold between mortal life and the world beyond. On the far shore, the soul entered the Duat, the underworld. Darkness and danger reigned. The Duat was a labyrinth of gates and guardians, rivers of fire and fearsome beasts. Each obstacle was a test. Gatekeepers demanded secret knowledge or a protective spell. Funerary texts, inscribed and recited, were the soul's only guide. At the heart of the Duat awaited the Hall of Judgment, presided over Osiris. The soul's heart was placed upon a golden scale and weighed against the feather of Ma'at. Anubis watched with impartial eyes, while Thoth recorded the verdict. If the heart was pure, the soul passed to the field of reeds, a paradise like earthly life. There the soul, reunited with loved ones, toiled in abundance and basked in eternal peace. If the heart was heavy with sin, Amit devoured it, and the journey ended in oblivion. Through these stages, crossing trial judgment, the Egyptians imagined a spiritual odyssey. Each peril and each prayer reflected a hope. With devotion, wisdom and the favour of the gods, the soul could transcend death and awaken in the afterlife. With every tomb painting and funerary text, the ancients immortalized this voyage, a testament to their quest for immortality and their belief that the soul's story had only just begun. In the shadowed halls of the afterlife, beneath star-strewn ceilings and eternal columns, the soul faced its most crucial trial, the judgment of the dead. Here, in the awe-inspiring Hall of Judgment, The fate of every soul was decided, an event watched over by the mightiest deities of the Egyptian pantheon. At the heart of the hall, Osiris, lord of the afterlife, sat upon his golden throne, shrouded in regal linen and crowned with the white and red of Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. Before him, the scales of justice gleamed in the half-light, a symbol of perfect balance and truth. Anubis, the jackal-headed guardian of the dead, guided the trembling soul forward. With careful hands, Anubis placed the soul's heart, believed to be the seat of memory, conscience and emotion, on one side of the scale. On the other side rested the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth and cosmic order. The moment was sacred and still. As the scales tipped, Thoth, the ibis-headed scribe of the gods, recorded every detail with unerring precision, his papyrus scrolls capturing the soul's fate for eternity. Watching nearby, Ma'at herself stood serene, her feather a radiant beacon of justice. But lurking at the foot of the scales was Amit, the fearsome devourer, her form part lion, hippopotamus and crocodile, the three most dangerous beasts of Egypt. Her jaws parted in anticipation, ready to consume any heart weighed down by sin, dooming the soul to oblivion. If the heart balanced with Ma'at's feather, if the soul had lived with honesty, compassion and respect for the gods, the path to the field of reeds opened. There eternal joy awaited. But if the heart was heavy with wrongdoing, Amit devoured it, and the soul was erased from existence, lost forever. This divine judgment was not only a test of deeds, but a measure of the soul's harmony with truth and order. For the ancient Egyptians, the weighing of the heart was both a warning and a hope, a reminder that every act in life echoed in eternity, and that the gods watched with wisdom and mercy. With each judgment, the Egyptians reaffirmed their most sacred belief, that to live justly was to be worthy of immortality, and that the ultimate reward, or punishment, awaited in the halls beyond death. Beyond the Hall of Judgment, where the fate of each soul was weighed with divine precision, lay another formidable trial, the Lake of Fire. In the ancient Egyptian imagination, this was no ordinary body of water. It was a churning, fiery expanse, its surface rippling with flames, annihilate, transform. For those souls whose hearts had not found perfect balance, the Lake of Fire was a place of dread and destruction. Here the unrighteous risked utter obliteration, their very essence consumed by the scorching waters, as punishment for a life lived in discord with Ma'at. This was the ultimate threat, the end of the soul's journey, the erasure of identity for all eternity. Yet the Lake of Fire was more than a pit of punishment. It was also a crucible of purification. Some souls, though burdened by imperfection, could endure the flames and emerge cleansed, their transgressions burned away by the fire's purifying touch. In this trial, by fire destruction renewal, the soul that survived the lake's ordeal was transformed, purified, reborn, worthy to continue its journey toward immortality. Fire itself held deep mythological significance for the Egyptians. It was a force of chaos, danger, light regeneration. In sacred texts, fire was invoked by gods and priests alike to destroy evil, ward off chaos, renew the world at dawn. The Lake of Fire, then, was a testing ground, a place where the soul faced the duality of fire as a threat to the unworthy, as a promise of renewal for those who could endure. Ultimately, the Lake of Fire was not just a symbol of fear, but of hope. It reminded the living that even after death, the path to perfection was possible. The fires of trial could lead to spiritual rebirth. For the ancient Egyptians, the soul's journey was never truly over. It was a continual process of testing transformation, the pursuit of eternal harmony with the divine. After the soul has emerged from its trials, purified by fire, judged by the gods and found worthy, it enters the long-awaited paradise of Sekhet Aru, the field of reeds. To the ancient Egyptians, this was the ultimate reward, a realm of eternal abundance, peace and joy. Sekhet Aru was imagined as a vast, sunlit expanse of fertile fields bordered by tranquil waterways, mirroring the lush banks of the Nile in its most perfect form. Here golden crops grew tall, and the air shimmered with the promise of endless harvests. Tomb paintings and sacred texts depict this paradise as an idyllic landscape, a place where the soul could plough fields that never failed, gather fruit that never spoiled, and rest beneath palms that never withered. But Sekhet Aru was more than just a land of plenty. It was a place of reunion and restoration. Loved ones long departed awaited each other, families reuniting in joy, friends and ancestors greeting the newly arrived soul. In this paradise all suffering and sorrow were left behind. The worthy would dwell alongside the gods and the blessed dead, sharing in feasts, music and laughter for all eternity. For ancient Egyptians, Sekhet Aru embodied the highest hope, that a life lived in harmony with Ma'at, the cosmic order, would be rewarded with everlasting happiness. The field of reeds was not a distant, abstract concept. It was a vivid vision of fulfillment, a promise painted on tomb walls and written into the Book of the Dead. In Sekhet Aru, the journey of the soul found its perfect conclusion. Here, eternal life was not simply endless existence, but a state of harmony, joy and reunion. A reflection of everything the Egyptians cherished about life, made immortal. For them, the field of reeds was a testament to the power of hope, the beauty of the afterlife, and the enduring human longing for happiness beyond the horizon of death. The sands of Egypt hold more than just ancient ruins and buried treasure. They whisper stories of a civilization that thrived for millennia. Journey with us now as we peel back the layers of time and uncover the culinary world of the ancient Egyptians. Imagine the Nile River, a glistening ribbon of life meandering through the desert. Its fertile banks gave birth to a civilization that would become a beacon of art, architecture and culture. The food of ancient Egypt wasn't merely sustenance. It was a reflection of their beliefs, their social structure and their deep connection to the land. Through their cuisine we can catch a glimpse of their world. Their culinary legacy, much like their towering pyramids, stands as a testament to their ingenuity and sophistication. They transformed simple ingredients, gifted to them by the Nile, into dishes both practical and indulgent. They understood the art of flavour, the delicate dance of herbs and spices, and the importance of preserving food in a land where the sun blazed relentlessly. It's time to uncover the secrets of their kitchens, explore the ingredients that graced their tables, and discover the flavours that tantalized their palates. Join us as we embark on a culinary adventure through time. Prepare to be transported back in time to a world where food was more than just sustenance. It was a celebration of life itself. The Nile River, often referred to as the father of life by the ancient Egyptians, was much more than a waterway. It was the lifeblood of the civilization, its ebb and flow dictating the rhythm of their lives. Wheat, barley and emmer, these grains, nurtured by the Nile's annual floods, were the staples of their daily bread. Bread, in its various forms, was the cornerstone of their meals, a testament to the land's generosity. Lentils, chickpeas and fava beans, these protein-rich legumes, added variety and sustenance to their diet. The ancient Egyptians were masters of cultivating the land, coaxing life from the desert with their intricate irrigation systems. Their agricultural prowess ensured a steady supply of these essential crops, forming the foundation of a cuisine that was as diverse as it was nourishing. Onions, garlic and leeks, these pungent bulbs, added depth and complexity to their dishes. Lettuce, cucumbers and radishes, these refreshing vegetables provided a welcome respite from the desert heat. Dates, figs and pomegranates, these sweet treats offered a burst of natural sugar and were enjoyed fresh or dried. The Nile Valley, with its fertile soil and predictable floods, provided the ancient Egyptians with a rich tapestry of flavours. They embraced the land's offerings, incorporating a variety of vegetables and fruits into their diet, creating a cuisine that was both flavourful and nutritious. Fish, abundant in the Nile, was a staple protein source, particularly for those living near the river. Fish was often dried, salted or smoked, preserving it for leaner times. Fowls such as ducks, geese and pigeons were also a part of their diet. Meat from cattle, sheep and goats was a more luxurious food, reserved for special occasions or the elite. The ancient Egyptians were skilled hunters and fishermen, supplementing their plant-based diet with protein from the Nile and the surrounding land. From the humble fisherman to the wealthy landowner, protein sources varied, reflecting the social hierarchy of the time. Imagine the aroma of roasted meat filling the air during a feast, a symbol of wealth and prosperity. While the common people of Egypt relied on the Nile's bounty for their sustenance, the pharaohs and the elite enjoyed a lavish and diverse diet. For the pharaohs, food was not merely fuel. It was a symbol of their status, power, and divine right to rule. Spices like cumin, coriander and saffron imported from distant lands infused their dishes with exotic aromas and tastes. Honey, a symbol of wealth and luxury, was used liberally to sweeten their food and drinks. The pharaohs dined on delicacies that were beyond the reach of ordinary Egyptians. Their tables boasted roasted gazelle, wild duck, and even ostrich, hunted in the distant deserts and brought back to the palace as a testament to their power. Wine, a symbol of celebration and abundance, flowed freely at these lavish banquets. Sweets, made with honey, dates and figs, provided a sweet ending to their extravagant meals. The pharaohs' meals were a far cry from the simple fare of their subjects. Their diets were a reflection of their wealth, power and access to resources that were beyond the reach of ordinary Egyptians. The pharaoh, considered a living god, had access to the most exclusive and luxurious foods, a diet designed to reflect his divine status. His meals were prepared by a dedicated team of cooks who adhered to strict rituals and guidelines to ensure their purity and quality. While the pharaohs and the elite indulged in lavish feasts, the lives of ordinary Egyptians revolved around a more modest but no less flavourful culinary tradition. Imagine bustling marketplaces, filled with the sights, sounds and smells of daily life, where farmers brought their produce, fishermen their catch, and bakers their freshly baked bread. The common people, while not privy to the exotic ingredients that graced the pharaoh's tables, possessed a deep understanding of how to transform simple, locally sourced ingredients into satisfying and flavourful meals. They understood the art of preserving food, drying fish and meats in the scorching desert sun, pickling vegetables in vinegar and salt, ensuring that nothing went to waste. Their meals were a celebration of the Nile's bounty, a testament to their resilience and their ability to adapt to the challenges of their environment. The ancient Egyptians, masters of agriculture, cultivated a dazzling array of fruits that thrived in the fertile Nile Valley. Dates, with their sticky sweetness and chewy texture, were a staple food, a source of natural sugar and energy. Dates were enjoyed fresh, dried, used to sweeten cakes and breads, or even fermented into a mildly alcoholic beverage. Figs, plump and bursting with juicy sweetness, were another beloved fruit. Figs were eaten fresh, dried into chewy treats, or used to make jams and preserves. Pomegranates, with their jewel-toned seeds and tart, refreshing flavour, were highly prized. Pomegranates were enjoyed fresh, their juice used to make refreshing drinks, or their seeds sprinkled over salads and desserts for a touch of colour and tang. Grapes, cultivated in vineyards that stretched along the Nile Delta, were a symbol of abundance and celebration. Grapes were enjoyed fresh, dried into raisins, or most famously fermented into wine, a beverage enjoyed by both the living and the dead. Watermelons, with their juicy, refreshing flesh, provided a welcome respite from the desert heat. Watermelons were enjoyed fresh, their juice quenching thirst and providing much-needed hydration under the scorching sun. These fruits, gifts of the fertile Nile Valley, were more than just food to the ancient Egyptians. They were symbols of life, abundance, and the generosity of the gods. They were woven into the fabric of their daily lives, their flavors enjoyed by pharaohs and peasants alike. Fishermen skilled in the art of netting and trapping would cast their nets into the Nile's waters, hauling in a variety of fish from small perch to large Nile perch, their silver scales glinting in the sun. Fish, a valuable source of protein, was prepared in a variety of ways. It was grilled over open fires, baked in clay ovens, dried in the sun, or salted and preserved for leaner times. While fish was a staple for many, meat was a more luxurious food, reserved for special occasions or for those who could afford it. Cattle, sheep and goats, domesticated animals that grazed on the fertile land along the Nile, provided a source of meat, milk and hides. Hunting, while not as prevalent as fishing or animal husbandry, also played a role in providing meat for the Egyptian table. Honey, often referred to as liquid gold by the ancient Egyptians, was far more than just a sweetener. It was a symbol of purity, a gift from the gods and a prized ingredient in their culinary repertoire. Honey was used to sweeten cakes, pastries and desserts, adding a touch of luxury to their otherwise simple fare. But honey's role in ancient Egyptian cuisine extended far beyond sweetening. It was used as a glaze for roasted meats, its sweetness caramelizing over the fire, creating a rich, flavorful crust. Honey was also used as a preservative, its antibacterial properties extending the shelf life of fruits, vegetables, and even meats. The ancient Egyptians, renowned for their trade networks that spanned the ancient world, had access to a treasure trove of spices, each one adding its unique flavor and aroma to their cuisine. Imagine caravans laden with exotic spices arriving from distant lands, their arrival a cause for celebration in the bustling marketplaces of ancient Egypt. Cumin, with its warm, earthy flavor, was a staple spice used generously in stews, soups and roasted meats. Imagine the comforting aroma of cumin seeds toasted in a clay pot, their essential oils released, filling the air with their warm, inviting scent. Coriander, with its citrusy, slightly sweet flavor, was another favorite, used to add a refreshing note to dishes. Imagine the delicate green leaves of the coriander plant, chopped finely and sprinkled over salads, stews and even desserts. Their fresh, vibrant flavor a welcome contrast to the richness of many Egyptian dishes. Fennel, with its licorice-like flavor, was used to add a subtle aniseed note to dishes, particularly those featuring fish or seafood. Imagine the delicate fronds of the fennel bulb, used to infuse broths and stews with their unique flavor, adding a layer of complexity to the overall taste. The ancient Egyptians were remarkably innovative in their culinary practices. They developed techniques for preserving food and brewing beverages. Fermentation was well understood by the ancient Egyptians. They used it to create beer, a staple drink. Bread making involved sourdough starter, giving bread its tangy flavour. They also created sweets using honey, dates, figs and nuts. These innovations left an indelible mark on the world of food and drink. Our journey through the kitchens and fields of ancient Egypt draws to a close, leaving us with a profound appreciation for a civilization that understood the art of sustenance and celebration. We've explored the bounty of the Nile, from its humble grains to its succulent fruits, witnessing how these simple ingredients were transformed into meals that nourished both body and soul. Imagine the echoes of laughter and conversation around a fire as families gathered to share their daily bread, the aroma of spices mingling with the smoke, creating a sensory experience that transcended time. Food wasn't merely fuel for the ancient Egyptians. It was a thread that wove together the fabric of their society, connecting them to the land, their gods, and each other. We've delved into the grand feasts of the pharaohs, where exotic delicacies and imported spices were a testament to their power and influence. Yet, even amidst such opulence, the essence of Egyptian cuisine remained rooted in the land's bounty, a reminder that even the most powerful rulers were ultimately dependent on the Nile's generosity. From the humblest farmer to the mighty pharaoh, food played a pivotal role in shaping the lives, beliefs, and traditions of this remarkable civilization. Their culinary legacy, much like their towering pyramids, stands as a testament to their ingenuity, resourcefulness, and deep-rooted connection to the natural world. As we bid farewell to the sights, smells, and tastes of ancient Egypt, let us carry with us a newfound appreciation for the simple yet profound act of sharing a meal. Their story reminds us that food is more than just sustenance. It's a celebration of life, a bridge across cultures and generations, and a powerful reminder of our shared humanity. The echoes of their culinary traditions can still be heard in the cuisines of modern Egypt and beyond, a testament to the enduring legacy of a civilization that understood the true meaning of a life well lived, one shared with loved ones, around a table laden with the fruits of the earth. Their story is a reminder that even as time marches on, the fundamental human need for nourishment and connection remains unchanged. So the next time you break bread with loved ones, take a moment to appreciate the legacy of the ancient Egyptians, whose culinary innovations continue to enrich our lives today. Their story, etched in stone and whispered by the desert winds, reminds us that even the grandest civilizations are built upon the simple foundation of a shared meal. Deep in the heart of the Sinai Peninsula, amidst a rugged and unforgiving landscape, rises a mountain shrouded in mystery and legend. This is a place where the harshness of the desert meets the sublime beauty of nature, creating a setting that feels both timeless and otherworldly. Mount Sinai, known also as JBLMWS, Jabal Musa in Arabic, meaning Moses' mountain, has captivated the hearts and minds of people for millennia. It is a site of profound historical and spiritual significance, revered by multiple faiths and cultures. Its towering peaks and desolate beauty whisper tales of ancient prophets and divine encounters. The mountain stands as a silent witness to the passage of time, its rugged slopes etched with the stories of those who have come seeking answers and enlightenment. The very air around Mount Sinai seems to crackle with an unseen energy, a palpable sense of the sacred that has drawn pilgrims and seekers for centuries. Each step taken on its ancient paths feels like a journey through history, a connection to something greater than oneself. The silence of the desert, broken only by the wind whistling through the canyons, invites contemplation and introspection. It is a silence that speaks volumes, offering a space for reflection and a deeper understanding of one's place in the universe. It is a place where the veil between the earthly and the divine feels thin, where the echoes of ancient events still reverberate through the ages. The ancient ruins and relics scattered across the mountains serve as a testament to its enduring significance, a reminder of the countless souls who have been touched by its mystique. The history of Mount Sinai stretches back through the mists of time, intertwined with the very fabric of human civilization. The earliest mention of the mountain can be traced back to ancient Egyptian texts, where it was known as the Mountain of the Moon. The Egyptians believed that the goddess Hathor, the deity of love, beauty, music, dancing, fertility and joy, resided on the mountain. They mined turquoise in the area and built temples at its base, evidence of their deep reverence for this sacred place. The legacy of their presence can still be seen today in the ruins and artifacts scattered across the landscape. Mount Sinai holds a unique place in the history of the world's great Abrahamic religions. For Jews, Christians and Muslims alike, it is revered as the site where Moses received the Ten Commandments from God. This pivotal event, recounted in the Book of Exodus, forever linked Mount Sinai with divine revelation and the establishment of moral law. For Christians, Mount Sinai represents the tangible manifestation of God's covenant with his people. It symbolizes the meeting point between heaven and earth, a place where the divine will was made known to humanity. Muslims too revere Moses as a prophet and recognize the importance of Mount Sinai in his story. Over the centuries, Mount Sinai has become a tapestry woven with the threads of different cultures and beliefs. This sacred mountain stands as a testament to the rich history and spiritual significance that it holds for so many people around the world. Bedouin tribes, who have called the Sinai Desert home for generations, have their own stories and traditions associated with the mountain. These nomadic people have passed down their legends and customs through countless generations, each adding their own layer to the mountain's mystique. They believe that the mountain is inhabited by jinn, or spirits, and treat it with respect and reverence. The Bedouins' rituals and practices are deeply intertwined with the natural landscape, reflecting a profound connection to the earth and the unseen forces they believe dwell within it. For many, a visit to Mount Sinai is a deeply spiritual experience, a pilgrimage to a place where they can connect with the divine and reflect on the deeper meaning of life. Pilgrims from various faiths come here seeking solace, enlightenment, and a sense of peace that only such a sacred site can provide. The mountain has a way of stripping away the superficial and revealing the raw essence of the human spirit. In the quiet moments at the summit, one can feel a profound sense of clarity and purpose, as if the mountain itself whispers ancient truths to those who are willing to listen. Beyond its religious and historical significance, Mount Sinai is also home to a surprising array of natural wonders. Hidden within its canyons and valleys are ancient rock formations, secret springs, and a diverse range of plant and animal life. The mountain is a haven for ibexes, gazelles, and other desert creatures that have adapted to its harsh conditions. In an age of globalization and technological advancement, it is easy to feel disconnected from the natural world and the spiritual dimensions of life. Yet, Mount Sinai stands as a timeless reminder of the enduring power of faith, the beauty of the natural world, and the interconnectedness of all things. Whether one is drawn to Mount Sinai for its religious significance, its historical legacy, or simply its raw natural beauty, the mountain has a way of leaving an indelible mark on the soul. It is a place that challenges, inspires, and ultimately transforms. The traditional pilgrimage to the summit of Mount Sinai is a challenging but rewarding experience. There are two main routes to the top. The longer and more gradual ascent is via the Camel Trail, a winding path that can be traversed on foot or by camel. The more challenging but quicker route is the Steps of Repentance, a steep staircase of over 3,750 steps carved into the mountainside by a repentant monk. The ascent is usually made at night to avoid the scorching heat of the day and to reach the summit in time for sunrise. At the summit of Mount Sinai lies St. Catherine's Monastery, one of the oldest continuously operating Christian monasteries in the world. Founded in the 6th century AD, the monastery is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and houses a treasure trove of religious art, manuscripts and icons. The monastery's library is renowned for its collection of ancient texts, including the Codex Sinaiticus, one of the oldest surviving manuscripts of the Bible. The monastery is a testament to the enduring power of faith and the human spirit's ability to thrive in even the harshest of environments. Mount Sinai stands as a timeless symbol of faith, history, and natural wonder. For millennia, its towering peaks have drawn pilgrims, adventurers, and seekers from all over the world. Its story is interwoven with the very fabric of human civilization, and its legacy continues to inspire and intrigue us today. As long as humans gaze up at the stars and ponder the mysteries of life, Mount Sinai will continue to hold a special place in our hearts and imaginations. It is a place where the veil between heaven and earth feels thin, where the whispers of the divine can still be heard in the wind. Deep within the desert sands, an ancient civilization beckons. Egypt, a land of pharaohs and pyramids, has captivated the world for millennia. For centuries, the mysteries of ancient Egypt lay dormant, hidden beneath layers of sand and time. Who were these people who built such wonders? What secrets did their tombs hold? The allure of Egypt's enigmatic past has drawn explorers and scholars for generations. Join us now as we journey through time, exploring the fascinating history of this captivating field of study. Our exploration begins in antiquity, where early explorers and scholars first attempted to decipher the mysteries of ancient Egypt. We'll delve into the contributions of figures like Thutmose IV, a pharaoh who initiated early restoration efforts at ancient sites. These early pioneers laid the foundation for the formal study of Egyptology. From the deciphering of hieroglyphs to the excavation of forgotten tombs, each discovery has brought us closer to understanding the people and culture of ancient Egypt. Our journey into Egyptology begins not with an outsider, but with a pharaoh himself. Thutmose IV, a ruler during Egypt's glorious New Kingdom, was drawn to the grandeur of the past. He took a particular interest in the Great Sphinx of Giza, a colossal statue already ancient in his time. Thutmose, seeing a symbol of both power and mystery, ordered its excavation. Thutmose's initiative marked an early awakening of interest in Egypt's ancient past. Centuries later, as Egypt fell under the sway of foreign powers, the task of recording its history fell to a man named Manetho. An Egyptian priest living during the Ptolemaic period, Manetho possessed knowledge of both Egyptian and Greek culture. His most significant work was The History of Egypt, a comprehensive chronicle written in Greek. In the Manetho organized the pharaohs of Egypt into dynasties or ruling families. Through these fragments, Manetho's influence on our understanding of Egyptian history remains profound. The Ptolemaic period, though marking the end of native pharaonic rule, ironically ushered in a new era of engagement with ancient Egypt. The Ptolemies, keen to legitimize their rule, embraced Egyptian culture and traditions. It was during their reign that the famous Rosetta Stone was created in 196 BC. This accidental find would revolutionize the study of ancient Egypt, paving the way for the decipherment of hieroglyphs and the birth of modern Egyptology. The discovery of the Rosetta Stone ignited a firestorm of intellectual curiosity across Europe. Scholars raced to decipher the ancient hieroglyphs, hoping to unlock the secrets held within their intricate symbols. The breakthrough came in 1822, when a brilliant young French scholar named Jean-François Champollion cracked the code. Champollion recognized that the hieroglyphs on the Rosetta Stone represented sounds as well as ideas. With each decipherment, the ancient Egyptian language came alive, revealing a rich tapestry of history, mythology, and everyday life. While Champollion's work illuminated the written word, a new generation of explorers and archaeologists ventured into the deserts and tombs of Egypt. Among these pioneers was Sir William Matthew Flinders Petrie, a British archaeologist often hailed as the father of scientific archaeology. Petrie revolutionized the field of archaeology with his meticulous approach to excavation and recording. His insistence on recording even the smallest details laid the foundation for modern archaeological practice. The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed a golden age of Egyptological discovery. Armed with Champollion's decipherments and inspired by Petrie's methods, archaeologists from around the world flocked to Egypt. Expeditions unearthed a wealth of artifacts, from colossal statues and intricate jewelry to everyday objects. One discovery, however, would capture the world's imagination like no other: the tomb of Tutankhamun. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, largely intact and filled with a dazzling array of golden treasures, became a global sensation. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922 remains a pivotal moment in Egyptology. The world held its breath as Howard Carter peered into the tomb's antechamber. Inside, Carter and his team found over 5,000 artifacts. Golden chariots, carved furniture, alabaster lamps and chests of jewelry filled the tomb. At the heart lay Tutankhamun, his mummified remains in nested coffins, culminating in the iconic golden mask. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb wasn't just about the dazzling gold and precious objects. It provided an unprecedented glimpse into the burial practices, religious beliefs, and artistry of ancient Egypt. Advances in scientific analysis, such as DNA testing and CT scans, have allowed researchers to learn more about Tutankhamun's health, his family relationships, and the circumstances surrounding his death. The boy king's legacy extends far beyond his brief reign, serving as a timeless reminder of the enduring power of ancient Egypt to captivate and inspire. Tutankhamun's tomb was just one of many royal tombs in the Valley of the Kings. This valley near Thebes served as the final resting place for New Kingdom pharaohs. Giovanni Belzoni discovered Seti I's tomb in 1817, its walls adorned with vibrant paintings. These discoveries have painted a vivid picture of ancient Egyptian beliefs and rituals. The exploration of the Valley of the Kings continues to this day, with archaeologists employing cutting-edge technology to uncover its remaining secrets. Ground-penetrating radar and thermal imaging help locate hidden chambers and passageways. Each new discovery adds another piece to the puzzle, deepening our understanding of the pharaohs who ruled Egypt during its golden age. The dedication and ingenuity of Egyptologists continue to bring its wonders to light, ensuring that the legacy of the pharaohs endures for generations to come. As our understanding of ancient Egypt has grown, so too has the need to protect its fragile legacy. The sands of time, while concealing Egypt's treasures, also pose a threat, as do environmental factors and human activity. To safeguard its heritage, the Egyptian government established the Ministry of State for Antiquities in 2011. This institution oversees all archaeological work in Egypt. The ministry also combats the illicit trade in antiquities, recognizing each looted artifact as an irreplaceable loss. Modern Egyptology is a truly collaborative endeavor. International teams, often working in partnership with Egyptian colleagues, bring a diverse range of expertise to bear on the study of ancient Egypt. The Ministry of State for Antiquities plays a crucial role in fostering these international collaborations, recognizing that the pursuit of knowledge knows no boundaries. This spirit of collaboration is essential for the future of Egyptology, as new technologies and research methodologies continue to emerge. Egyptology, though rooted in the study of the past, is a constantly evolving field. New technologies are revolutionizing the way we explore, analyze, and understand ancient Egypt. Ground-penetrating radar allows archaeologists to peer beneath the sands without disturbing the ground, revealing hidden structures and tombs. Satellite imagery helps identify potential archaeological sites from space, guiding researchers to areas of interest. And in the laboratory, DNA analysis and other scientific techniques provide unprecedented insights into the lives, health, and even the appearance of ancient Egyptians. The future of Egyptology lies in broadening our understanding of ancient Egyptian society. This means exploring the lives of ordinary Egyptians. What were their homes like? What did they eat? What were their beliefs and values? By studying daily artifacts, Egyptologists are piecing together a complete picture. This shift reveals a vibrant civilization beyond pyramids and pharaohs. We are learning about farmers, artisans, merchants, and priests, discovering the importance of family, community, and religion, gaining a deeper appreciation for their ingenuity and resilience. As we delve into Egypt's past, we face a crucial challenge: preserving its fragile heritage for future generations. Climate change, pollution, and mass tourism threaten ancient sites and artifacts. Rising groundwater levels erode the foundations of temples and tombs along the Nile. The number of visitors to sites like the Giza Plateau strains these ancient structures. Protecting Egypt's heritage requires a multifaceted approach involving the government, international organizations, and the global community. This includes conservation efforts, sustainable tourism, and raising awareness. By working together, we can ensure the wonders of ancient Egypt inspire future generations. Our journey through Egyptology spans from ancient sands to modern science. We've seen explorers, scholars and dreamers captivated by ancient Egypt. From restoring the Sphinx to Flinders Petrie's digs, knowledge has been passed down. The Rosetta Stone unlocked the voices of the past. We've stood in awe within Tutankhamun's tomb. Modern technology is revolutionizing our understanding of ancient Egypt. Egyptology is far more than the study of a long-vanished civilization. It's a testament to human curiosity, our desire to understand our place in time. The echoes of ancient Egypt resonate through art, architecture and language, reminding us that the past shapes who we are. The legacy of the pharaohs lives on in our quest to unravel their mysteries. As long as there are questions to be answered, Egyptology will continue to thrive. The sands of Egypt still hold many secrets, and each generation of explorers uncovers them, adding their own chapter to Egyptology's story. Welcome to ancient Egypt, a land of breathtaking pyramids, mystical deities, and unparalleled innovation. But beyond the monuments and mythology lies a fascinating story of how the ancient Egyptians maintained their health and nourished their bodies. Wellness was not just a personal endeavor, but a cultural cornerstone, deeply intertwined with their spiritual beliefs and daily practices. Join us as we explore the remarkable world of Egyptian medicine and diets, uncovering the secrets of their holistic approach to well-being. The ancient Egyptians were pioneers of medicine, combining natural remedies with spiritual practices. Their medical knowledge evolved over millennia, influenced by their observations of nature and the human body. They documented their knowledge in papyri, such as the Ebers papyrus, which contains over 700 remedies and treatments, showcasing their extensive understanding of medicinal plants and their applications. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, one of the earliest known surgical manuals, highlights their advanced surgical techniques and anatomical knowledge. These texts reveal an intricate understanding of the human body and diseases developed through centuries of practice and study. Temples dedicated to Imhotep were not only places of worship, but also centers for healing, reflecting the integration of medicine and religion in their culture. These sanctuaries offered treatments that combined prayers, rituals, and practical remedies, evolving into sophisticated centers of medical practice. This holistic approach to health, balancing the physical and spiritual realms, was a cornerstone of ancient Egyptian medicine, influencing practices for generations. The ancient Egyptians relied on the natural world for healing. Honey was prized for its antiseptic properties and used to treat wounds, while garlic was a common remedy for heart health and stamina. Willow bark, a natural source of salicylic acid, was used to alleviate pain, foreshadowing the development of aspirin thousands of years later. They also excelled in treating physical injuries. Splints made from reeds and bandages soaked in medicinal oils were used to set fractures. For infections, they employed antiseptic poultices made of resin, honey, and even copper salts, which have antibacterial properties. Dental health was a significant concern. The Egyptians used tooth powders made from crushed eggshells and ash to clean their teeth, though they faced challenges due to the abrasive nature of their bread, which wore down enamel over time. Aloe vera was another versatile remedy, used to soothe skin irritations and burns. Poppy seeds were utilized for their sedative properties, helping to relieve pain and induce sleep. Juniper berries and their oil were used to treat digestive issues and as a diuretic. Castor oil was a common laxative, aiding in digestive health and relieving constipation. A balanced diet was central to Egyptian life. Bread and beer were staples, providing carbohydrates and essential nutrients. Bread was made from emmer wheat or barley, and beer was brewed from the same grains, sometimes flavored with dates or herbs for added nutrition. Their meals included vegetables such as onions, leeks, and garlic, which were rich in vitamins and believed to have medicinal benefits. Fruits like figs, dates, and melons were common, adding natural sweetness and essential hydration to their diet. Fish from the Nile was an important protein source, supplemented by poultry and eggs. While red meat was reserved for the wealthy or special occasions, ordinary Egyptians had access to lentils, chickpeas, and other legumes for protein. Their reliance on whole grains made their diet high in fiber, which supported digestive health. However, the sand and grit from grinding flour often led to severe dental wear, causing pain and infections. Nuts and seeds such as almonds, sesame seeds and flax seeds were also part of their diet, providing healthy fats and additional protein. Dairy products like cheese and milk were consumed, offering calcium and other essential nutrients for bone health. Herbs and spices, including coriander, cumin and fenugreek, were used to flavor their food and were believed to have health benefits. Honey was a natural sweetener and was also used for its medicinal properties, adding both flavor and health benefits to their diet. The Nile River was the heart of Egyptian life. Its annual floods brought fertile silt, making agriculture possible. Crops like wheat, barley, flax and vegetables thrived along its banks, ensuring a steady food supply. The river also provided medicinal resources. Papyrus was not only used for writing, but also as material for wound dressings. Plants like lotus flowers and water reeds were incorporated into remedies for ailments, ranging from skin conditions to digestive disorders. The cycle of planting and harvesting was closely tied to the Nile's rhythm. This abundance allowed the Egyptians to experiment with a wide range of ingredients for both sustenance and healing. The Nile was also a vital source of fish, which was a key protein in the Egyptian diet. Advanced irrigation techniques allowed Egyptians to maximize their agricultural output. Medical knowledge was often recorded on papyrus, ensuring the transmission of healing practices across generations. The legacy of ancient Egyptian wellness lives on. Many of their remedies, like honey for wounds and herbal teas for digestion, are still valued today. Modern herbal medicine and essential oils also draw from ancient practices. Their understanding of nutrition and the connection between diet and health was far ahead of its time. Today's Mediterranean diet and healthy eating trends echo their principles. Their approach to wellness reflected their reverence for balance, or ma'at, the harmony that governed all aspects of life. This balance is mirrored in modern wellness practices like yoga and meditation. From the food they ate to the medicines they crafted, the ancient Egyptians demonstrated a profound connection to the world around them. This connection continues in today's natural remedies and farm-to-table movements. Beyond their renowned remedies and diet, the ancient Egyptians also practiced surgery with remarkable skill. They employed a variety of tools such as scalpels, forceps and probes, many of which have been discovered in tombs, showcasing their advanced understanding of medical procedures. Surgical techniques included trepanation, where holes were drilled into the skull to treat head injuries or illnesses, and the use of sutures made from plant fibers or animal sinews to close wounds. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, a medical text dating back to around 1600 BCE, provides detailed descriptions of these procedures, highlighting the Egyptians' systematic approach to surgery. They also practiced dentistry, extracting teeth and treating dental abscesses with precision. The combination of surgical skill and their vast knowledge of medicinal plants allowed them to perform complex procedures while minimizing pain and infection risks. The ancient Egyptians' contributions to surgery laid the groundwork for future medical advancements, demonstrating their ingenuity and dedication to the well-being of their people. In summary, the ancient Egyptians excelled in various aspects of wellness, from their innovative surgical practices and advanced medical tools to their comprehensive understanding of medicinal plants and balanced diets. Their holistic approach to health and medicine not only ensured the well-being of their people, but also laid a strong foundation for future generations to build upon. In ancient Egypt, medicine was deeply intertwined with magic and religion. Illnesses were believed to be caused by supernatural forces, requiring both medical knowledge and spiritual intervention. Priests, skilled healers, performed rituals to appease gods and expel spirits. Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess, was revered in medicine. Her priests channeled her power through elaborate ceremonies. Thoth, god of wisdom, bestowed medical knowledge. Amulets and charms protected and aided recovery. Inscribed with sacred texts, they invoked divine protection. The Ebers papyrus blends spells and medical treatments. The heart was seen as the center of thought and health. During mummification, the heart was carefully preserved. Magic and religion ensured holistic well-being. This integration highlights the complexity of ancient Egyptian society and their understanding of the human condition. The diet in ancient Egypt varied significantly between social classes, reflecting wealth and status. The wealthy enjoyed diverse meals with meats, fish, fruits and vegetables. Bread and beer were staples, but quality varied by class. Commoners had simpler diets, mainly bread, beer and vegetables. Meat was a rare luxury for the working class. The Nile's bounty ensured basic foodstuffs for all. Feasts showcased wealth and reinforced social bonds. Food was a marker of status and cultural expression. Ancient Egyptian medicine was advanced and profoundly influential on later civilizations. Their knowledge of herbal remedies, surgical techniques and holistic health laid the groundwork for future practices. The Greeks adopted many Egyptian practices, integrating them into their own medical theories. Hippocrates drew inspiration from Egyptian medical texts. The Romans expanded upon Egyptian medical knowledge. Galen referenced Egyptian practices in his works. Egyptian medical papyri influenced both the ancient world and Renaissance scholars. Their emphasis on mind, body and spirit echoes in modern holistic medicine. The legacy of ancient Egyptian medicine continues to inspire contemporary practices. Understanding their influence provides a broader perspective on medical evolution. It highlights the importance of preserving and learning from ancient wisdom. Thank you for joining us on this journey into their remarkable world. Stay tuned for more explorations of the past. Explore more about ancient Egypt in our next episode. Like, share and subscribe to delve deeper into the mysteries of history. There are certain figures in the history of science whose work provides the very foundation. Carl Richard Lepsius was such a man. Born in the year 1810 and living until 1884. A quiet but formidable pioneer of modern Egyptology. He was not a seeker of treasure, but a collector of a far more valuable commodity, information. Not a single dazzling discovery, but a slow, methodical, monumental effort to record, to catalogue, and to understand the civilization of the ancient Nile Valley. Carl Richard Lepsius was born on the 23rd of December 1810 in Naumburg an der Saale, a town in what is now Germany. His upbringing was one steeped in intellectual curiosity, his father being a classical scholar who undoubtedly nurtured his son's academic inclinations from a young age. This early environment set the course for his life's work. He pursued a rigorous education, delving into classical philology. Archaeology, linguistics. He studied at Leipzig, Göttingen, Berlin. He mastered Latin, Greek. His interests expanded to Sanskrit and early Semitic languages. He went to Paris. He studied under Jean-Antoine Letronne. He gained access to Champollion's papers and teachings. That exposure sparked his interest in Egyptology. He immersed himself in ancient Egyptian language study, learned hieroglyphs, learned later cursive forms, and learned Coptic. The opportunity for Lepsius to realize his grand ambition came in 1842, on the recommendation of the influential scholar Alexander von Humboldt and Christian Bunsen. King Friedrich Wilhelm IV of Prussia agreed to sponsor a major scientific expedition to Egypt and Nubia. Lepsius, at the age of just 31, was appointed to lead it. This was not a simple tour, but a comprehensive state-funded project with clear scientific objectives. The primary goal was to systematically survey, record, and collect artifacts and information from monuments along the Nile Valley, to effectively create a paper museum of ancient Egypt for scholars across Europe. The team Lepsius assembled showed the breadth of his vision. Scholars, professional artists, draftsmen, architects, and a mould maker. Key members included Ernst Weidenbach and Johann Jakob Frey. They carried the best scientific instruments of the day, surveying tools, cameras, lucida, and vast quantities of paper and ink for making squeezes. Work began in late 1842 and lasted nearly 3 years, until 1845. A slow, methodical progression southwards along the Nile, from the Memphite necropolis through Middle Egypt to the grand temples of Thebes. The team pushed beyond Egypt into Nubia, reaching the Khartoum area and the pyramids and temples of Meroe. Among the most enduring and practical of Lepsius's contributions is what has become known as the Lepsius list of pyramids. As the Prussian expedition travelled through Lower Egypt's necropolises, they moved from Abu Rawash to Meidum. Lepsius undertook the first systematic survey of these monumental structures. He devised a simple yet effective system, assigning Roman numerals to each pyramid. He started with Pyramid 1 at Abu Rawash and then proceeded southward. The numbering brought order to the pyramid fields. It included the famous pyramids of Giza and Dahshur and many smaller ruinous structures previously overlooked. His original list catalogued 67 pyramids covering royal burial sites of the Old Kingdom and the Middle Kingdom. Some smaller mud brick pyramids he recorded have deteriorated, been lost, or vanished beneath shifting sands. In some cases, his brief notes and sketches are the only remaining evidence, an irreplaceable snapshot of the 1840s landscape. Beyond his archaeological work, Lepsius made a profound and lasting contribution to linguistics, a quiet architecture of letters that would shape how scholars heard and rendered the world's voices. He recognized a fundamental problem. There was no consistent scientific method for transcribing the sounds of unwritten or ancient languages, especially those across Africa and Asia. Scholars improvised, accuracy suffered, meaning shifted. European alphabets were ill-equipped to capture many unfamiliar sounds. Guttural, emphatic, tonal. The symbols were few, the phonemes many, the fit imperfect. To solve this, Lepsius produced his standard alphabet for reducing unwritten languages and foreign graphic systems to a uniform orthography in European letters. On its pages, he set out a disciplined scheme, first published in German in 1855, then in English in 1863. Its core principle was simple and exacting. One symbol for every distinct sound. He kept the Latin alphabet as a base and expanded it with diacritical marks, dots, lines, hooks, placed above, below, and through letters to fix fine shades of speech. The alphabet was no armchair theory. It grew from practical necessity in the Prussian expedition. In the field, measuring, mapping, copying inscriptions, making squeezes, reliable notation was as vital as a compass. It was meant to be universal, equally capable of transcribing ancient Egyptian, Coptic, Meroitic, Old Nubian and contemporary African languages, a single orthographic key for many doors. Lepsius consulted missionaries and linguists worldwide to refine the system, aiming for a single, unified tool that served science, education, and religious translation with equal fidelity. Precision first, doctrine nowhere. In classrooms, in scripture translations, and in scholarly notes, his alphabet offered clarity where guesswork once stood. It gave voices a stable script and made comparison, teaching, and faithful reading possible across continents. The most tangible and magnificent result of the Prussian expedition was the monumental publication that followed it. Denkmäler aus Ägypten und Äthiopien, Lepsius's magnum opus. Published in 12 immense volumes between 1849 and 1859, it was of unprecedented scale and detail. A work conceived not as a souvenir, but as a scientific edifice. It contained nearly 900 large-format lithographic plates, each a precise window onto Egypt and Nubia. The plates reproduced thousands of drawings, maps and measured plans made by the expedition's artists and architects. Draftsmanship turned into durable record. Grand panoramas, detailed architectural elevations and tomb layouts, and vast corpora of inscriptions were set out with unwavering clarity. Organized geographically, north to south, the Denkmäler follows the Nile's course. Accompanying text volumes add commentary and context. For many remote Nubian sites and lesser visited temples, these were the first accurate, complete recordings, and they remain valuable today. Such fidelity demanded years of careful editing and costly production, massive fold-outs and the latest lithographic techniques to capture every line. The publication cemented Lepsius's reputation and stood as a testament to Prussian scientific achievement, a foundational corpus for the 19th century and beyond. Lepsius's influence extended far beyond his fieldwork. He was a pivotal figure in shaping European museum collections. In 1855, he became co-director of the Egyptian Museum of Berlin. In 1865, he was appointed keeper of the Egyptian collection. He was an active architect of the collection, aiming beyond a cabinet of curiosities to a systematic library of objects. The expedition acquired objects under his oversight: gateways, tomb chapel walls, statues, stelae, papyri, guided by scholarly value. We must view these activities within their 19th century context. Removing artifacts, common then, is now under intense ethical scrutiny and debate. His detailed records often provide the only provenance for removed objects. He advised museums and collectors, encouraging chronological and thematic displays to tell a coherent story of Egypt's past. His influence shaped what was collected, and how it was presented and understood by the public for generations. This transformed Berlin into a world-leading centre for Egyptological research, a status it still holds today. At the heart of all of Lepsius's achievements was a philosophy of fieldwork, precision, systematization, comprehensiveness. When he arrived in Egypt, the prevailing approach was often hurried exploration, focused on finding spectacular objects or clearing tombs as quickly as possible. Lepsius introduced a different pace. He understood that the context of an object was just as important as the object itself. The goal was not simply to find things, but to understand and record their relationships to each other and to the landscape. Every site was approached with a clear plan. First, detailed maps, then structures measured and drawn in plan, elevation, and cross-section. Only after the survey did they copy inscriptions, pioneering large-scale use of paper squeezes for fine, three-dimensional impressions. Lightweight to transport, squeezes captured detail beyond drawing. In Berlin, they yielded exact plaster casts for study. The legacy of Carl Richard Lepsius is not contained within a single discovery, but woven into the methods and foundational texts of Egyptology. After the expedition, he remained a dominant force through extensive academic work and teaching, his influence living on in pages, plans, and practice. As a professor at the University of Berlin, he trained a new generation of Egyptologists, instilling rigorous philological accuracy and methodical research practices. His student, Georg Ebers, became a leading scholar. His student, Adolf Ehrmann, became a leading scholar. Before photography, precise lithographs were the closest thing to being on site. Even after, the drawings clarified faint or damaged reliefs. He worked to reconcile king lists with monument evidence. His Königsbuch der alten Ägypter in 1858 sought a reliable pharaonic chronology. Many conclusions were refined. He was a man of his era, and some interpretations have been superseded. Yet his systematic weighing of sources shaped future chronology. From field notes to printed plates, his method bridged observation and record. Still, the robustness of his data keeps his work useful. Modern scholars return to his drawings, maps, and list of pyramids to re-examine evidence. His greatest legacy, not just answers, but the raw material for new questions and new answers. Carl Richard Lepsius passed away in 1884, leaving behind a field he had irrevocably professionalized. Egyptology reshaped from romantic adventure into a structured academic discipline. His career was a testament to systematic work, patient observation, and unflinching accuracy. Measured drawings, careful notes, context before spectacle, precision that turned exploration into scholarship. He was not a seeker of gold, but a cartographer of history, mapping not only the geography of the Nile Valley, but the landscape of its ancient civilization. When an archaeologist uncovers a new tomb in Saqqara, they will likely consult the Lepsius list to see if he noted any structure there. When a linguist studies a difficult passage, they may turn to the plates for a clearer copy of the inscription. His work serves as a fixed point in time, a snapshot before modern tourism, pollution, and urban expansion. And every student who maps a site or copies an inscription follows in his footsteps. He established a blueprint for scientific fieldwork that new technologies refine but do not replace. Lepsius gave the world a map of stone and script, proving that thousands of careful facts can reveal a civilization's grand story. The Nile, the lifeblood of Africa, flows through a land of ancient wonders. Along this journey, it encounters Nubia, a land as rich and enigmatic as the river itself. Nubia, nestled in modern-day Sudan and southern Egypt, was a land of strategic importance. It was a gateway between the Mediterranean world and the heart of Africa. Nubia's significance was not lost on the ancient Egyptians. They called it Tarseti, the land of the bow, in recognition of the famed Nubian archers. These skilled warriors were highly sought after in Egyptian armies. Gold, ivory, ebony, and exotic animals flowed from the heart of Africa, through Nubia and into Egypt. The Egyptians, recognizing this, sought to control Nubia, leading to centuries of complex interactions. The story of Nubia and Egypt is one of conflict and cooperation, of cultural exchange and intertwined destinies. Nubia was a land of abundance, blessed with resources coveted by its northern neighbour, Egypt. Gold, shimmering and precious, was perhaps the most sought-after treasure. Nubia's gold mines, located deep within its mountainous terrain, became a source of fascination and desire for the Egyptians. Beyond gold, Nubia was a land of exotic wonders. Ebony, a dark, fine-grained wood, was prized for its beauty and durability. Ivory from the tusks of elephants was carved into exquisite ornaments and works of art. Animal skins, precious stones, and aromatic resins all flowed north from Nubia, enriching the Egyptian economy and culture. Trade routes, traversing the Nile and crossing the desert, connected Nubia and Egypt. Caravans laden with goods carried not just material wealth but also ideas and cultural practices. This interaction, driven by economic necessity and fueled by the Nile's bounty, laid the foundation for a relationship that would endure for millennia. The relationship between Nubia and Egypt was not always harmonious. The allure of Nubia's riches, coupled with its strategic importance, often led to conflict. Egyptian pharaohs, eager to secure their borders and control the flow of valuable resources, launched military campaigns into Nubia. Despite the conflicts, periods of peaceful coexistence and cooperation punctuated the tumultuous history. Trade flourished during these times of peace, with both civilizations benefiting from the exchange of goods and ideas. Nubian rulers, eager to secure their own power and legitimacy, sometimes sought alliances with the Egyptian pharaohs. Royal marriages, a common diplomatic tool in the ancient world, cemented these alliances and fostered cultural exchange. Nubian princesses, renowned for their beauty and grace, were welcomed into the Egyptian royal court. Similarly, Egyptian scribes, artisans and officials travelled south to Nubia, spreading Egyptian ideas and technologies. The two civilizations, though often at odds, were bound by the shared waters of the Nile and the intricate tapestry of human interaction. The interactions between Nubia and Egypt extended far beyond the battlefield and the marketplace. Nubians, drawn by opportunity or brought as captives of war, became an integral part of Egyptian society. Their skills as archers, warriors and administrators were highly valued, and many rose to positions of prominence within the Egyptian hierarchy. Nubian archers, renowned for their accuracy and discipline, were a common sight in Egyptian armies. Beyond the military, Nubians excelled in administration and governance. Egyptian records mention Nubian scribes, officials and even governors who managed Egyptian provinces. These individuals, often highly educated and multilingual, navigated the complexities of Egyptian bureaucracy and contributed to the efficient running of the empire. Nubian artisans, musicians, dancers and laborers contributed to the vibrancy of Egyptian culture. Their presence is evident in Egyptian art, where Nubian features, hairstyles and clothing styles are often depicted. The adoption of Nubian cultural elements highlights the dynamic nature of Egyptian society and its ability to absorb and adapt to foreign influences. The rise of Kush, a Nubian kingdom's ascent. Around the 8th century BCE, a powerful kingdom emerged in Nubia, centered at the city of Napata. This kingdom, known as Kush, would challenge Egyptian dominance and eventually rule over the land of the pharaohs. The Kushites, deeply influenced by Egyptian culture, adopted many of its customs and beliefs. They worshipped Egyptian gods, built pyramids and temples in the Egyptian style, and even adopted hieroglyphic writing. However, they also retained their own distinct traditions, language, and artistic styles. Kushite kings, powerful rulers who commanded vast armies, presented themselves as the legitimate heirs of the pharaohs. The rise of Kush marked a turning point in the relationship between Nubia and Egypt. Their armies, led by skilled warriors and equipped with advanced weaponry, pushed northwards, capturing Egyptian cities and defeating Egyptian armies. The Kushite kings, now rulers of both Nubia and Egypt, ushered in an era of renaissance, reviving Egyptian traditions and leaving an indelible mark on Egyptian art, religion, and architecture. The 25th dynasty, established by the Kushite king Paya around 747 BCE, marked a significant moment in Egyptian history. For the first time, a dynasty of Nubian origin ruled over the land of the pharaohs. These black pharaohs left a lasting impact on Egyptian culture, religion, and architecture. They revitalized Egyptian traditions, ushering in a period of artistic and religious renewal. The Kushite pharaohs were devout patrons of the Egyptian god Amun, restoring temples and monuments dedicated to him. They embraced traditional Egyptian artistic conventions, commissioning colossal statues and intricate reliefs. They also introduced elements of their own Kushite heritage, blending Egyptian motifs with Nubian styles. The story of Nubia and Egypt is not simply a tale of two separate civilizations. It is a testament to the power of cultural exchange, the blurring of boundaries, and the creation of a shared heritage. Over centuries of interaction, Nubian and Egyptian cultures intertwined, each influencing and enriching the other. While Nubia adopted Egyptian religious beliefs, artistic styles, and even language, Egypt was equally open to Nubian influences. Nubian music, dance, and fashion found their way into the Egyptian court and society. Nubian gods and goddesses were incorporated into the Egyptian pantheon. The Egyptian language itself borrowed words and phrases from Nubian languages, a testament to the close interaction between the two peoples. This cultural fusion is evident in the archaeological record, in the art, architecture, and artifacts that have survived the sands of time. Temples in Nubia, built by Kushite pharaohs, feature a unique blend of Egyptian and Nubian artistic styles. This intertwining of cultures created a vibrant and dynamic civilization along the Nile Valley. Nubia, though often overshadowed by its more famous neighbour, played a pivotal role in shaping the course of history. Its contributions to world civilization, often overlooked or downplayed, are finally being recognized and celebrated. From its strategic importance as a crossroads of trade to its cultural innovations, Nubia left an indelible mark on the ancient world. Nubia's gold, ebony and ivory enriched the economies of ancient civilizations. Its warriors, renowned for their skills as archers, served in armies across the ancient Near East. Its kings, the Black Pharaohs, ruled over Egypt, leaving a lasting legacy on its art, religion and architecture. Nubia's impact extends beyond its material and political contributions. It was a center of innovation, developing its own unique alphabet, known as Meroitic script, which remains partially undeciphered. Its artisans created stunning works of art, blending Egyptian motifs with their own distinct styles. Nubia's story is a reminder that history is not written solely by the victors. For centuries, the story of Nubia remained hidden beneath the sands of time. Its monuments and cities lay buried, overshadowed by ancient Egypt. Recently, archaeologists and historians have begun to unearth the secrets of this forgotten civilization. New discoveries challenge our understanding of Nubian history and culture. Excavations at Kerma, Napata and Meroe reveal Nubia's social structure and artistic achievements. The decipherment of Meroitic script is unlocking Nubian language and literature. Studying Nubia is about recognizing its contributions to world history and celebrating its unique identity. As we unearth Nubia's treasures, we see history as a dynamic and evolving narrative.